You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where I believe your relationship can be stronger than ever after having a baby. It just takes tools, conversation, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea Skaggs, certified life and relationship coach, mom of two, and survivor and thriver of tough relationship challenges after babies. I'm committed to helping couples just like you improve your communication skills, connection points, and personal confidence so that you can have the life and family you've always dreamt of. Now, let's get to today's episode. Hey mamas, in case no one's told you today, you're doing a great job. Motherhood is not a perfect roadmap. It does not look the same for everyone. And when you are owning your journey, that is where you find the sweet spot. And today, I want to talk to you about the one thing that I wish I would have put more time and energy and authenticity into when I was a new mom. It's something that would have radically changed my experience. And now that I've made that change later in my motherhood journey, I'm feeling so much more freedom and connectivity and confidence than I did before. But it felt so out of reach for me as a new mom. So listen in as we discuss what this is. If I could give you one piece of advice as a new mom, it would be this. Put yourself out there authentically and work on facilitating meaningful friendships. This doesn't mean you have to have a crew of 10 to 12 women that you go out with every weekend, although if that's your thing, so be it. That doesn't mean the group where you feel like you have to do your hair a certain way or have the diaper bag tidy or have your kid in a cute outfit. This is not those kind of events. This is the place where you can let down your walls. Like, picture that with me. You can exhale and you can show up just as you are. I'm talking about the power of friendships and meaningful, deeply connected, authentic friendships, while recognizing that for a lot of new moms, including myself, this can feel very difficult and truly, logistically, mentally, and emotionally, it can be very difficult. But when we're looking at the things that can radically improve our motherhood experience, I believe that this is one of the most impactful places that we can put our time and our energy. Studies show that individuals with close social ties are happier and experience greater well being all around. And that's no surprise to us. The Journal of Socioeconomics shares that people with active social lives are twice as likely to report being very happy compared to those who are less socially connected. And again, we're not talking about just bopping around from library story time to the next playgroup. Those are important experiences. But what I'm talking about is having the ability to go deeper, to show up more authentically. We have so much area for comparison and mom shaming. And for many women, including myself as a new mom, there tends to be a lot of energy and effort put on how we present ourselves, how we present ourselves as moms, as professionals, as partners, how we present ourselves even through our babies and the clothes they're wearing and the accessories they have and the products they're using. It's like a motherhood aesthetic. And that's fine if that does something for you and makes you feel good in certain ways. But aesthetic cannot replace authenticity. Let me say that again because this might need to become a quote. Aesthetic cannot replace authenticity. As humans, connectiveness is a core need that we have. And as already mentioned, this can feel really difficult in early motherhood because of a number of reasons. Because of the outside pressures we feel, because we're very wobbly most of the time, not sure how to stand on our own 2 feet, and not sure how to present ourselves after all the changes of early motherhood. And so it becomes this question: how much do I share? How much do I not share? Do I make this look better than it is? Do I go into the hard parts? As we think about this, I want to encourage you to see the ways The friendships you are building impacts your life, but also impacts your partner's life and your child's life and your family unit as a whole. The closest relationships we have form this sort of norm narrative in our mind. It helps us to see how other people are experiencing life as individuals and with one another. And as we're choosing our friends, we want to be choosing people that we would want our families to be around, people that we would want our children to be learning social dynamics and norms within a family from. This doesn't mean they have to be an exact replica of you, but that you hold similar values. And finding people with similar values means a couple of things. It means going beyond small talk and having some of those deeper, more authentic conversations. It also means getting to know your own personal and family values, which can shift a lot after having a baby. The benefit of having these stronger relationships with other moms when we're in this tender, vulnerable season is that not only does it bring us sort of normalcy, where we're not always asking ourselves, am I broken? Am I the only one? Does anyone else experience this? But when we form those deeper relationships, we're able to have those kinds of conversations. It also creates a sort of emotional safety net where we're able to explore our own thoughts and needs and desires. It welcomes us into a place of creativity and personal growth. It gives us a way to explore where we are in our own motherhood journey. Where do we want to go? And what kind of patterns and mindsets are forming that? So let's take a little time to talk about finding mom friends. I believe these kinds of friendships can be formed anywhere, but it does take a certain type of energy and presentation of yourself. So, as a new mom who's navigating the waters of parenthood, I recognize finding authentic mom friends can be challenging, but it is also incredibly valuable. Let's look at a couple of places where you can start. What are some of those more general opportunities, like parenting groups or classes? Maybe there's a mommy and me class in your area, or a yoga class, or breastfeeding support group. These environments often foster connections with other new moms who are going through similar experiences. This is also one of the primary pillars of my group coaching program, Motherhood Unlocked, where we are coming together with a shared value. That value in our group is growing into our favorite selves and enjoying motherhood. Those shared values and goals naturally open up the door for more authentic, deeper conversations that go beyond the small talk. There are other opportunities available online through online forums and social media groups dedicated to motherhood, which creates that kind of community and support. There are mom meetup groups, so you can use things like Eventbrite or look on your Facebook page for local events. There's also meetup.com where people might be providing opportunities to get together for play dates or a walk at the park or maybe coffee meetups. A lot of my clients have enjoyed Fit for Mom or similar concepts that bring together new moms under a shared purpose. There are those activities again like library story time or baby music class, but we're going to talk in a minute about how to go beyond the surface level conversation in places like that where there's not already a shared value established. But another thing you can do is reach out to some of your acquaintances. Ask for friends of friends who are also new moms. Think about your first degree, that first circle around you of people in your life that you're close enough to know things about you and already know some of your values. Reach out to them and say something like, hey, I'm looking to connect with other moms who are in a similar life place as me. Is there anyone that you know that is, based on what you know about me and my family values, a good option for a friend for me? Additionally, just a reminder to be open to initiating conversations with other moms. Remember that building authentic connections can take time and effort, and it can feel really awkward for some of us. Chances are that other mom is going to appreciate you stepping into the awkwardness because they're feeling awkward too. Be patient with yourself and the process. It is okay and totally normal to feel vulnerable and unsure at first. But the more you start putting yourself out there, the more you bring new connections and find that kind of support you're seeking. So, if you're someone who loves to just strike up new conversations with someone that you meet at library story time, that's great. If you're someone who wants to make sure that people have the same kind of values as you before you start to open up, then a place like Motherhood Unlocked or another group focused on shared values is going to be where you can really flourish and grow and build those legs for building relationships. Then not only does that happen in the moment, but those legs that you're building makes it more likely for friendships and conversations and that meaningful connection to continue happening. So start the conversations that go beyond small talk. We don't have to waste time as we learn. This can help you to turn in if someone will be a good friend for you by fostering a deeper connection. Work to uncover some of those shared interests and values. And again, don't be afraid to be a little vulnerable. Ask the open ended questions. So instead of something like, oh, how many kids do you have? Try saying, what do you enjoy most about being a parent? Or what has been most surprising for you since you've become a parent? And then listen actively. It's going to be challenging when we have young kids running around, but as much as possible, show genuine interest in what another person is saying by actively listening to their responses. If you're like me and you love to talk and you have a lot of thoughts and it feels like a mile a minute in your brain, it can be hard to avoid interrupting or thinking about what you're going to say next while speaking. But if you're able to reflect back on what someone's sharing, then you can demonstrate that you're engaged in the conversation. This makes it okay to have those awkward pauses. I think that's a sign of respect, right? If you're having an awkward pause because you're engaged in listening to what someone was saying and not just forming your response to immediately send the ball back over to their court. Something that helps me a lot is to start by journaling. I've become a very big fan of journaling. It is part of my daily practice. And when I'm journaling, I'm able to start putting words to my stories and experiences, which then helps me to share those stories and experiences when I'm in a conversation with someone. That helps to build that kind of connection and trust. Personally, I am a fan of guided journals. Right now, beside me, I have a guided journal and then I have one with blank pages. So I have the one with prompts and it guides me through, and I have the one with blank pages. Sometimes those prompts are really centered on the areas that I'm looking to grow and evolve as a person, which then helps me be in touch with the kind of stories and experiences that I would want to share if I were making a new friend. This is a big reason why Motherhood Unlocked comes with a guided workbook that gives you prompts to go through as you're learning about new pieces of yourself and reflecting on your changes as a mom. So, no matter where it starts for you, the reminder is to be genuine and authentic. Pay attention, ask follow up questions, and don't be afraid to be a little bit weird. It's usually in our weirdness that we find those people who are equally weird and make for the best friends. The best friends aren't the people who don't think you're weird. They're the people who know you're weird and love those quirky sides of you, and they then feel safe enough to show up as their weird selves and make it a safer place for you to do that too. We are all a little awkward, okay? So if you're feeling like you're the only awkward person out there, you are not. We are all a little awkward. I think that I'm maybe even more awkward than most people. I had to, you guys, send a voice memo to my friends the other day before I went into a event with people I didn't know because I was like, what do I do? Am I wearing the right things? Did I bring the right kind of snack? I don't know what the expectations are. And so I had this whole like awkward lowdown to them. And for most of my life, I would not have been able to share that kind of stuff, but these friends have loved me through the weird and made it safe for me to be weird and awkward. It's just, some of us do that more frequently than others. Again, I think it's a good sign of safety. It's a sign of growth and authenticity when we're able to let our walls down and stop trying to be in the impressive mode. So that's my motivational speak for you this week. So that is my motivational speech for you this week. to feel the power you have within you to foster meaningful relationships, to put time and energy and effort into meeting people and going beyond the surface, because you need those soul level connections in the midst of early motherhood, and you're going to need that beyond. They might be the same people that continue on with you, they might not, but either way, this is how we do life. We do life by getting to know ourselves and getting to know other people and learning how to share in one another's joys and burdens and highs and lows. And that's really, really special. So, again, if you feel like that is lacking in your life, which is what I hear from a ton of new moms, I encourage you to put yourself out there, not just to show up at places, but to show up curious, to show up open, to show up without the pressure on yourself to impress people, and just be you. Find the people that you can continue to be you with. I am rooting for you. I believe in you, and I can't wait to hear what kinds of friendships come out of you showing up authentically. If you are looking for a place to show up and you are between 3 and 24 months after having a baby, I need you to know about Motherhood Unlocked, which is my small group coaching program where we bring together the power of a self guided course, a private discussion group, and weekly group coaching calls to move through the 8 key transitions of early motherhood and give you a place to understand how has that changed you? How does that impact you right now? How do you want to put your intention and strategies or get support around these different areas so that you can have more of that ease and joy that you want in your motherhood journey? And in this conversation about friendships and connection, this always breeds those kinds of connections, because this is a group of people who are all showing up together for the purpose of growing and healing and thriving and figuring out what it means to be their favorite self as moms. And that kind of energy is contagious. It cuts through the bullshit. It's not a bunch of small talk. It is heart and soul level conversations. And so if you're ready to have those and you want to do it in a structured space that is created for those kinds of relationships, you have to learn about Motherhood Unlocked. I have a new cohort opening in March. If you're listening to this in real time, you have maybe 9 days. I'm doing the math in my head. 9 days to get registered. If you're not listening to this in February 2024, then chances are there's another cohort probably starting in the next month or two. And you can find more about that by going to postpartumtogether.com/motherhood unlocked. Until next time, keep up the great work. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you take a minute to help spread the word. As a small business owner, shares and reviews go a long way. So share this episode with a friend, share it on your social media, and please leave a review if you haven't done so. This helps these messages get to more mamas, and you guys, that's how we change the world.